things like that. And it's, but I don't feel like I'm an expert in
Oh, no,
any
I'm
of that.
fine. I want to
You know what I
actually
mean?
thought about retaking it to get a, refresher, because there's so much information.
Well, they want you to do like 10 hours of CE every year.
Yeah,
And
it's very
they
easy.
expect 20 hours of volunteer time.
It's like if your road pickup, like when we do a road pickup,
Yeah.
that's 1 hour.
Yeah, but
They include
does that count for that too? Oh, okay.
Sitting in this meeting, I count it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to be able to do something with my kids too, and they talked about that.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of things that seemed really interesting and exciting about it, so.
Yeah, no.
Whoa,
Cool.
I'm sorry.
So how are you?
Glad it wasn't wrong.
Good.
You look too tan. Get
I
out of
was,
here.
I was on vacation, but I am not anymore.
I'm like, what is different about her? I'm like,
She's at a beach.
Beach look going there.
Yeah, some kind of beach place.
I was in a lovely place, but I am back to
Well,
reality.
Back to life.
Yes.
Back to
Is this for
reality.
us? Is
No,
this?
this is one document.
There's a.
Da, da, da,
Oh,
da.
this says Alan. That is not I.
Oh,
The only
yeah,
ones
he'll
that
get
request
upset.
are Alan, Laura, and Chad. And then I do one for Harry, because everybody else, it was voted on at one meeting that everybody would bring their laptop. But if you
I
want one,
did not say that.
I don't need the whole package, but I'm good. I just,
love my laptop.
the agenda is fine. I don't need
give
the
it.
whole.
That's all I need.
Make sure that you're on my list. You wanna
Oh, I
use this
didn't
one?
get these. Well, you know what, Harry?
Here, I have
Harry's
one, I
getting
have
bumped
an extra.
for that.
Harry's getting bumped.
It should be, here, I'll give you this.
Chad, you're a voting member, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, we left Chad out. We're good. Chad's a voting member. That would be fine.
Yeah.
We didn't
What?
have him in our
In the count, here,
I
I'll do
did
that, just in case you shows up.
Kathy!
I just wrote it on there.
Ha!
But I'll make sure that I have an extra, because I always do an extra just in case.
See,
We have enough showing up tonight?
this I didn't get. This one I didn't get. So,
EAC that we sent last month. To review
A revision of what?
our bylaws.
And Russ, you got your okay, you got
When
your
did you
copy.
send it?
He
Like
likes
a
to
long
copy the
time ago?
agenda.
Yeah, that's all you
Let's
need.
say,
I just
I
need
don't
to,
remember if
One-
I
if
read
you
it.
want to mark it down, just, you don't have to print
Just
everything.
agenda,
We-
all right.
Thank you.
The document, and I sent it. Or should I? I know you're like.
Well, we're gonna,
I would think it, like,
we're
one
gonna,
printed
I
copy.
mean,
for the
obviously
table
not
would
be
good,
adopting
maybe.
it tonight anyway, probably.
You know what I mean? Just so if we
Yeah.
have to reference anything.
Okay.
I just want to make sure that
I can do that.
I was.
You probably, I don't remember, honestly.
I just need some thoughts.
two of these candidates were people that I,
Don't
asked.
jump ahead of my agenda.
Well, I'm just looking at this thing, that I asked to, if they were
Apply.
interested to apply.
I got you.
So I guess what I'm saying is I can vet two of them.
You're good to go.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna call our meeting.
I am,
Chad, you're a member now. You can second that motion.
I'm gonna
start the meeting at 6:34. I am filling in for Drew, who is out
In New Zealand.
in New Zealand. I'm gonna do roll call. Drew is gone. I'm here. Laura Ray. Here. Alan is not here. Cheyenne is not here. Kathy.
Here.
Chad.
Here.
Janine is not here today. Russell.
Here.
And then Winfield, did we hear from him? Okay. Okay, great, thank you. So if we can, we'll stand for Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so we did not have an executive session, so we'll go ahead and start with new business. This is a reorganization for the beginning of the year. So, as you know, Drew is the chair, I am the vice chair, and Laura Ray is the secretary. And so, we can discuss positions if there's anyone, but I'd like to move, if I could get a second, to have Drew remain as chair. And if there-
Oh, that's a
Second.
great idea. I second that.
So we have a second, so all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Hearing none. Vice chair?
But like, can you remain in that role as well?
Yes.
Wonderful. Make a motion, or do I nominate? I nominate Jennifer Helton to remain in the role as vice chairman.
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Hearing none, so moved. And nominee for secretary?
Do you want to continue as secretary, Laura?
Doesn't really matter. I'm just the third man that runs the show. If nobody else shows up.
In all seriousness, the role of the secretary, right? We
Should
have
be to help with the agenda,
Okay.
probably.
We have minutes, right? Because they're recorded. So like, I'm just trying dates and like what we say we're gonna do, like activities and stuff like that. Look at, he looks like a snowman. You look like a snowman.
No, put on the orange.
I knew it.
Iceland.
Thanks for joining, Alan. I know it's not like a
I would
full,
like to retain the existing.
Right. It's fine, but she has a lot on her plate also, so it's up to
If
you.
somebody else wants to be secretary, fine. I don't know if we're gonna redefine what secretary does. I said long ago, I did used to take the minutes and write the minutes.
Yeah, no,
But
that's
all
all
that
recorded.
changed over the
Yeah.
years, yeah.
But I was thinking more like, we say, oh, we're gonna do this or follow through with that, or, like kind of keep an ongoing agenda. I guess that's what I'm looking at, like things that we said we're gonna do, or dates, or follow through.
Person that remembers things, yeah, maybe pick somebody.
I'm talking out loud.
I got so many
It's
things to
fine.
remember, it's not
so
fun. Yes.
Kathy, would you be available?
I don't have a problem doing it. I don't wanna step on Laura's toes. I don't
More
really
room.
understand
Move her
what
up.
that
Sure, no
particular
problem.
role
I think
is.
it's less and less,
We
but
just had
if
the
both Drew and
paper
I
sitting
could
there
not
for you,
attend,
so-
then you obviously would take
Yeah,
that
so I've already had to
role.
run a meeting as secretary because
Yeah.
of lacking the other two people, so it can happen,
Yeah,
not likely, but it's not that big of a deal.
Right. But whatever you want, it doesn't matter.
No, I'm fine with not being secretary, that's fine.
That I will nominate myself. to be
I will nominate Kathy McGovern as the chair.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Those in favor of Kathy being secretary, say
Aye.
aye. Those opposed, hearing none, so moved. Awesome. Thank you. Second,
You seconded.
Laura Ray.
Correct.
So next, if you all had in your packet, we have 2 open vacancies for non-voting.
Date and time.
Oh, I am so sorry, thank you. Date and time. Currently, it was in our packet, we currently meet on the second Tuesday at 6:30 each month. Are we in agreement with that?
Yeah.
And then, were you all able to look through the days? They're pretty consistent. Does anyone need to see the dates?
I didn't check them against my calendar, but
Yeah.
I have an expectation it's on Tuesdays, so this works.
So, can I get a second that we will continue with the given?
I second
All
the
right.
designation of time, date, and place.
Okay, and the second Tuesday at 6:30 each month here at Township. All right, great. Can I get approval? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Those
I'll
opposed?
put that in the paper with the dates and time.
Yeah,
Okay.
great.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And then back to, we have 2 openings for vacancies in our packet, there were 3 resumes that were provided that had filled out. Did everyone get a chance to review that? I understand these are 1-year appointment that do not vote, but are, obviously, we hope as people move up in their experience and vacancies open, they would move into voting positions.
Does this include the prior submittals from
I was going to ask
we
Carol that.
received?
Good question.
Is this all of them? Or were there 2 or 3 from November?
There was one that declined, she withdrew,
Okay.
and then one, I believe, was put on another committee.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a different name, and she's now on our historic committee.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Okay, good. So, any comments on the 3? I'm going to open the floor and any discussion. We've had the positions open for a while. I think we need to move forward the importance of filling these vacancies. Yeah.
I'll go first, quick. So I do know Kurt Balch. I know Kathy does as well, so.
Can you just turn that mic on?
Oh, sorry.
This is all.
That is on, yes.
So I know Kurt Balch, and just through attending other meetings and things, I know he's a passionate person. He is a stay-at-home dad, so I thought that was like a plus for him because it kind of makes him flexible to help participate in some of the unusual things that we sometimes need to do, because not all of us have that flexibility. So that is good. Like I said, he's very passionate. He's extremely well spoken. If we need anybody to speak, he's a speaker. So
He's also, he's got an MBA, he was in the Army, he was, a soldier, so like, he has a professional background in estate planning, I think it's estate planning or whatever. So my point is he's kind of a well-rounded individual. I feel. I do know him. I asked him if he was interested to apply, but I also think he has a very diverse background, which would be helpful.
Right. Any other thoughts on the 3 applicants?
I like that this first one has experience with Parks and Rec and the rail trail, so they seem involved with the environment already in ways that they can involve some of that planning and development. So I appreciate that aspect of this applicant.
The 3rd applicant is the 2nd time he has applied. I also asked him if he was interested. He wanted to be on the EAC. Also lives on, he's a neighbor of mine, he lives on the other side of town, sort of thing. I know his background is all criminal justice, but it is the 2nd time he applied. He wants to get more involved in the township. I feel any person that applies twice, like that, they want the position is, a thought of mine. So.
it's definitely
Third.
has a lot of experience and stuff.
Oh yeah, he's a nice man, very easy to talk to. He very much likes the township the way it is, it's why he moved here. It's a group decision, but I just want everybody to know that this is the 2nd go around, because the last time we picked
Big
bingo.
What?
Okay.
So.
Russell, do you have any thoughts, Wes?
No, they all look good to me.
Alan, do you have any discussion?
Well, I kind of felt that Frank Thompson would be good because he's can read drawings.
The drawing, the contracting.
Yeah.
aspect of it, yeah.
Huh?
Reading plans and drawings
Drawings.
as a skill set would be helpful for some of what we do. I agree with that too. I would lean more favorably towards that candidate myself.
I didn't hear you, I apologize.
I would lean towards the first candidate.
We have 2 vacancies who you're looking at.
Okay.
How do you want to vote?
Do we go through each one?
I mean, someone can make a motion
Nominate,
to,
I guess, nominate someone, see how many votes you have for each person.
Do they come in to talk then? Isn't that what happens then? Do they come in to have a?
I will say, I know
Interview
Frank
or-
actually serves on the rail trail board, so Victoria knows him because she's the liaison to that board. So kind of one of the things we were trying to do when we got applicants before is just to try to give more people chances to do things. So that was our thought. So he is still our rail trail representative. That is not past thing, that's current.
Where is Felicity Lane?
Publicity's up all the time.
I believe it's right up off of, Skibo.
Okay.
Cobble Creek, not Cobble Creek, the, Four Seasons.
Four Seasons.
I think so.
Oh, Four Seasons, around that area.
I guess in the interest of moving this forward, I would then nominate Frank Thompson, the first applicant, Frank Thompson, and Kurt Balch as the two.
Might work better doing one by one.
Or, yeah,
Yeah,
do you want to
probably
do yay,
better
nays
doing
on
one
each
by
one?
one, because then we might kind of
yeah.
mess up.
Okay, so you nominate Frank
I'll-
Thompson,
Let's do Frank Thompson.
okay?
All
Is
in
there a
favor?
second?
Is there a second?
Second,
Oh,
Alan?
second, yeah, I'd do a second.
I think just one of my thoughts is having positions open. You know, he would have 2 positions on boards in the township, and I think it's good to have a variety, so that would be my hesitation, but any,
I would choose not to myself, that's me, so I would say, I don't even know the man, but I thank you.
I have no idea who these people
No,
are.
thank you, I say no, I mean,
So-
same thing, he's been on all these boards, so, get some fresh blood.
okay. So, any more discussion, and otherwise we will go for a motion? We'd like to,
I think you just have to take a vote of how,
Yeah.
each person, you know what I mean?
yeah, we are for him.
Okay,
So,
okay.
all in favor for Frank Thompson?
Aye.
Aye.
Those not in favor?
Aye.
Nay?
No,
You're not a voting member, sorry.
he could just enjoy.
Yeah.
So it'd be
All right.
3-2, Carol. And then Kurt?
So that was 2 for Frank and 3 against Frank.
Yes.
The motion did not pass.
The motion did not pass, I'm sorry, thank you.
I would like to nominate Kurt Balch to be on the committee.
I'll second.
Thank you.
Okay, any discussion? None, those in favor?
Aye.
Kurt?
Aye.
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 Kurt
5.
passes with 5 votes. Motion moves, and then Michael.
I will vouch for Michael, so I will nominate, Mike.
Is there a second?
I will second that,
Okay.
because when it's a personal referral from somebody who's good on our board.
Okay, any just discussion? Okay,
Diverse background.
very diverse background. With that being said, can we get a vote on an acceptance goal being brought on the board?
Aye.
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 Those opposed? Hearing none.
Good.
He is now a associate member. Thank you. All right. Our next line item is just talking about goals and objectives. It was in the packet.
Yeah. No. I have my computer. The one that we used last year.
Yeah.
You?
So let me get to it in the minutes. Seeing that I
Do you
gave
have it?
one.
Do you have this?
All right. So, as you know, we had a lot of good goals that we completed in 2024, and it's great having items here so we can discuss and have focus. Hope everyone had an opportunity to go through our pending goals. One of the key ones is that we do need to look at, and we're not deciding this now, so any additional feedback, but we do need to have a subcommittee to look at the open space. The plan that was written in 2007 really needs a hard look at, so I would encourage that we kind of work on that. I know Kathy and I worked on the bylaws, which apparently wasn't on here, but we haven't moved forward, so we're going to pick that back up because we have edited and we just need to see where we move from there. The plastic bag ban is, the subcommittee is working. Hopefully in the next meeting we can have that as a brief report. So Carol, if you could probably add that. I think that Chad, your thoughts?
Right now, do you want to talk about it?
No.
Oh.
We could bring it up next month with more detail.
Yeah.
Do you want on the next agenda?
Yeah.
Yeah. So might be able to start
Yeah.
actually getting
Yeah.
on the ground.
This month. Well, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, so next month you
So
could
next
kind of
month
give
we
us
should have
a
something to report on.
subcommittee update.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I don't know if we have enough people, but are there anybody that's interested in the open space action plan, working on that? Kathy? Russ? Okay.
I know I had jotted
I
some
think Drew
notes
would be-
because Drew asked
Yeah.
us to look at it
Yeah,
Yeah.
the last time, and then we didn't really go into detail talking about it. So I know I scribbled notes about, different things that are obvious that need to be updated there.
Well, and it may be where we can kick it off and start it in all the notes, if we can provide them to you via email or some means.
I'm gonna nominate Drew as well, because I'm sure he'd be very vested in this.
Yeah, absolutely. And then a lot of these things we want to do, like the compost workshop, recycling, host a large appliance, and invite other townships if that's an opportunity. I know we have our litter pickup, we have our landfill, not landfill, our tire pickup. I don't know if we want to continue that.
I thought that was a good idea.
Yeah.
There's a couple things on here that, I remember when we made this list, there's a couple things in here that the large appliance day, it's not gonna happen. They don't do that. They just, it's significantly expensive.
Yes.
So I've
Move it.
looked into that, like that was an idea of mine, but it's gonna be too cost prohibitive.
Okay, I will remove that.
Kathy Gorman and I spoke about the tires, and it's one of those like 50-50. Like on the one hand, people know about it now. So on the one hand, we were thinking maybe this year would be more successful on one hand. On the other hand, people came and gave their tires, so maybe every other year. So Kathy Gorman and I were kind of like, not quite sure. I'm just not quite sure.
Because I know other places don't do it. every year.
Right.
either.
Right,
So that's kind
Even
of,
electronic recycling, we would
they alternate.
kind of alternate too sometimes, just because
Right.
a lot of places do it.
Yeah,
so
Good
so
point.
that one is a question mark, like a couple of these things. The House bill, I had started that, that's, again, we were talking about that very, very, quite a while ago. And it's very complicated, and we started talking about it, and then we decided at the time, as a committee, to pull back a little bit from that one. Because we were talking at the time of, how do you educate the public on how some of these bills even get passed? And how do you get, and we were talking about, Bob Freeman and Lisa Biscola at the time, and we decided as a group to pull back a little bit on that one. So, some of these, I guess what I'm trying to say, need to be tweaked a little bit.
yeah.
You know, PP&L will take your refrigerator,
Really?
yeah, as long as it runs. And they give you, what, $50 or $25?
That's good to know. That's,
Yeah,
that
maybe-
kind of stuff that stuff should be
maybe-
out there.
Maybe you ought to promote it on your, on the website or,
Yeah, no, I didn't know
newsletter or
that,
something
Alan.
like that.
No,
All right. I'll look into it, ask, make sure, find out all the details.
Air
how about
conditioners
wine
too.
cooler?
I think yeah, I've done that, like dehumidifiers.
Just refrigerators, do you know, or,
I think it's
that's the
more.
only thing.
like,
They
you know
took-
how people have just freezers, like just a, like that, like,
I don't know.
I'll
They-
find out.
They took my refrigerator, and I think that's the only thing they'll take,
Right,
because people tend to have a lot of old refrigerators that they keep running, they don't wanna get rid of,
Right.
keep the beer in,
right.
and it uses more electricity than new refrigerators.
right,
So
right.
that's why they're promoting people to get rid of them.
Nice.
And they do say it has to run though.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
got rid of mine, they came and picked it up.
that's
that's
good
nice.
to know, though, and that's a nice thing to share to the community, I know somebody who was trying to get a refrigerator forever,
And I know like one of them is hosting Penn State Extension, we've got the water class on the website, so I think it'd be great to continue that relationship with them, and they do have a new
Yeah,
extension
Penn State
individual
well
that would
Well,
love to
yeah.
probably come and do
When's the deadline
some
for
public discussion, so we can look at that.
because it's a webinar.
I signed up to do that well water testing thing, but it was already full.
Oh,
So
Really?
I don't know that I'm gonna be able to do the one that's upcoming, but I'm gonna keep an eye open on that. Maybe
I
we can
signed up
keep-
for it, so I can.
Oh, you got it in?
Yeah,
Yeah, I did too, and I mean, we can send you the link.
Well, maybe, we'll see how it happens.
it's a webinar, like,
Yeah, but there's
I don't know, I
license.
How
didn't-
can it fill
It
out?
was like a wait list.
Really?
Yeah. Well, and it's based on, because I think they do free water testing then too, so they only have so many batches.
well, the free water testing now, it could be something different.
Still do the webinar.
But
though.
once,
have to do the
once
webinar.
upon a time, you went to Graysdale, that's where the Penn State Extension, and then you went to the well water presentation, and you brought your water with you, because we did
Okay.
that probably 10 years ago.
Okay.
But that was, everything was in person. This is a
Yeah.
webinar.
I remember taking water there to be tested
Yeah.
when I moved in, but I haven't been there since. Anyways, a lot of good information and resources they have on their website, and
Yeah.
webinars and different topics to stay up on.
Yeah.
As far as having someone come, as we were just talking earlier about their master watershed program, I'm sure that they have access and plenty of resources for people who would want to come and
Yeah, I
talk on,
agree.
speak on that topic as well.
Yeah, I agree.
I
I like-
attended 2 of their webinars, and, but they were not just one day. They were like 4 weeks, one day for 4 weeks,
Okay.
and they were great.
Was that paid or free?
I think I had to pay like
Okay.
$40 or something like
Okay.
that. And you got gobs of information, more than stuff you could ever absorb.
Yeah.
But it was all on the website, and I think you could continue to download it for some period of time after the thing was over with. So they give good webinars.
Yeah. These goals, to break it down a little bit, there's some internal work in here. There's community events. There's education. So I don't know if maybe we can organize this in some way.
Yeah.
And then I would like to, as I keep saying, I'd like to have a calendar outlined when we're actually gonna do some of these based on the seasons and, you know, when it starts getting warmer out, have outdoor activities. So,
I will, try to get some of this organized, and we can try to start putting it like in a calendar.
yeah, and we
That
did,
way, we can see it and visually say, okay, we're gonna have our trash pickup on this date, and then, you know, we'll know if we wanna do another event.
It also helps to plan too, so.
Yeah, okay.
we did have a spreadsheet at one point that was running with who would sign up next to it for helping to take the
Yeah,
reins
we
on
need
some
to
of this
get with
stuff.
Drew, cause Kathy really did this, we just kind of coordinated so we could talk about and present what we had completed and what was still pending. I think Drew was gonna make it so we could share it,
Okay.
and so we'll get that, and then we could maybe do a calendar, which leads me to ask you about the EAC of Lehigh Valley. Have you heard anything?
No,
Not to put you on
nothing.
the spot, but yeah.
No, from Allentown, nothing.
Same.
The last thing I got was an email from them a month ago where they were requesting letters of appreciation being sent to Allentown City Council for adopting a new sustainability ordinance, I
Okay.
believe. So they're making some progress over there, but there was nothing specific to the efforts from the local regional EACs to have a consolidated information sharing warehouse, which again would be so beneficial for all of us to know
So,
when things are going on.
Maybe that's your wheelhouse.
Huh?
That's
Me?
your wheelhouse. Like, maybe they
It
don't
is,
know,
but-
like, cause they seem to be eager, but then they seem to find, you know, they seem to have hiccups of how to make this work.
Yeah.
Cause
well,
remember they were talking about a platform,
You know what?
and then everything just sort of stopped.
Let me email back that contact
That's
and
like
see
your
if there's any.
wheelhouse of how to make
Okay.
it easier and,
Yeah,
cause would be great to know what all the different, EACs in Northampton County are doing, and Lehigh County, and then you coordinate with that as well, but I was excited for that, and then it just sort of, I don't think they know how to do it, to get all the different,
Yeah, I think it hit a stop
yeah,
at some point, when it was
Yeah.
just, oh, we have to pay for this, how are we gonna do that?
so.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know.
That's what it always comes down
And
to.
it's a shame, because it was a great idea.
So, we'll see, I'll check in with them, and I'll give an update on that.
That'd be great.
Carol, can we add that to the agenda for next, our next meeting in February?
And that was,
Lehigh Valley EAC
Yeah,
collaboration,
Chad will be giving us an update.
hopefully.
LVPC update?
LVEAC,
LVEAC, yeah.
with the Allentown EAC in there specifically.
Yeah, I hope we keep the LVPC climate action plan thing on the goals for 2025.
Yes.
It's up top. I will get it moved down as well. So I see it up top. Any updates, Alan?
Yes, they announced their first public meeting for the next phase of the climate action plan. It's going to be on January the 22nd, 8:30 in the morning, and it's going to be at their new offices there in Allentown.
Okay. Great.
Is that along the river?
Will you be attending?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I'm going to go to all of them.
Okay,
Okay.
Wonderful.
so we'll have an update on that then.
Yeah, we'll have
next month as well.
Carol,
Awesome.
another update. Thank you.
Oh, and Alan, I wanted to thank you for that methane drone article.
Oh,
That was
yeah.
very intriguing. New use of that technology, and especially with all these drones everybody's seeing flying all over the place. Maybe they're out there checking the landfill.
Well, you can see that
Sure they are.
Already had one crash on the landfill.
From
You
the
can see
methane.
that, controlling the methane emissions from the landfill is a very popular thing because they're doing it all over, and they got companies that are trying to develop technology to help do it.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal.
Did you ever see that methane plane go off? Did you
I-
actually see it?
I-
It looks like a volcano when that thing goes off.
It looks like
Well,
they popped.
I think this is what I think. I think I think the landfill gas, contains a lot of junk in addition to methane.
They did it one time.
So I think they're taking the methane out and they're burning the rest of it. They're supposed to burn the rest of it in some kind of a
Container,
furnace
yeah.
that burns up all the bad stuff. And that might be the exhaust from that furnace.
And that goes off every,
All I know is when that thing goes off, Alan, you instantly think that the landfill caught on fire,
It
because
looks-
it is so big.
it looks
and
like a napalm drop.
It just,
Well, I would
it's
say
like, oh my
talk to
God.
the Pennsylvania Department of whoever controls the landfill business, because they're on top of this thing. In fact, in a letter I mentioned this several times, in a letter that they sent to our council, they said that they won't allow opening of the new phase that the garbage dump wants to open until they're satisfied with the project to take care of the landfill gases, and this is part of it. So, what's up in the council? What happened? Did the council say, yeah?
They came and presented.
Did P&L
remember?
say it? I mean, not P&L, but did the Pennsylvania Department of, was Environmental Control or something? Did they give them permission? Or are they still experimenting? I don't know, but
They
that might be,
came and presented
that might
one
be an
night.
ongoing thing for the rest of the time that the landfill operates.
Well,
Remember that?
Let
And they were
me just
discussing.
throw out there, the landfill meeting is next week at 2 on.
This week.
Is it this week?
Yeah,
My
I think it's
apologies, I was trying to,
Thursday.
Thursday at 2 here. It may be worth if someone has the available time.
That'd be great. I'm looking at Alan.
What, for what? I don't go to any night meetings if I
No,
can
no,
help
no,
it.
It's in the daytime.
the landfill meeting.
landfill meeting, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? The quarterly landfill meetings? Are they monthly or
Well, they
quarterly?
had it here.
Quarterly, yeah, they are
There's one this week.
here.
Thursday at 2,
Oh, at the landfill.
Here,
here.
And I believe it's
Oh,
here.
here.
They're,
Well,
January
what
16th.
do you want me to do? Question that flame thing?
I don't know how much they
They're-
talk
they're
about that,
higher than
because
trees.
it's like another
They're 300
company
feet high.
too, so it's a little
I did an
confusing.
altimeter
Like
reading.
I feel like I'm in an Iron
Archaea
Maiden
or whatever
concert.
it is,
well, it looks like napalm,
Yeah.
is
it's
a
like
different
Vietnam.
company, so I don't know how much they
and it
talk
goes
about
off
it,
every
but
3 to 5 minutes, day and night.
Brooke can
Well,
answer.
you know what? We have a guy who we pay to know all about the landfill. Why don't you council people tell him to find out what the story is with that plume and then report on it?
Yeah, we need some additional environmental specialists to help with that topic.
Well, I don't think he has to be an environmental specialist. All he has to do is ask him what's going on and report to council at the meeting. I think, well, I don't know how often he reports to council.
Because the people live along Apple Butter Road and south of there are scared to death of this thing. Because it, all of a sudden, it goes, I mean, we can see it from Steel City, it lights the sky up. It's not like a little flame, it's 300 feet high.
Yeah.
So it's not a little thing.
If we're very interested in it, I'm sure we can ask Kathy who the name of the company, because I do remember them coming to present. They presented at a council meeting, Alan. I don't know how long ago it was now.
Yeah.
Explaining what it is, how it works, but when they explain versus what you see, it's like, yikes.
It's two different things.
Just in the last,
It's not like they
the
explain.
last packet, they talked about that they want to, the rainwater, stormwater runoff from their facility, they want to divert that into that little creek that goes underneath the road and goes down to Saucon Creek.
Right.
And in there, I think they gave a pretty good explanation of what they're doing. I also remember reading in in council minutes or council something or other, where they explained the whole thing on their, in documentation that they sent to council. I
So,
don't know
I
how long
mean,
ago that was, but I remember that they did it. That's how I know about it, because I read it.
I think at this point, it's a point that we should understand, and I think it's just a matter of how it affects the environment, and so it is an issue.
Yes.
And maybe, we could work on a letter to present to council to get more information so that there's a better understanding of that flame and what's in the air as it's burning off.
That, or, and again, it doesn't matter to me, or re-invite the company, come present to us of what this thing does and what it's supposed to do.
And I asked the engineer, I said, when you burn CO2, with methane, you release CO2, which is a greenhouse gas. So it's counter to what you're trying to do. And he kind of hemmed and hawed about that, but that's.
Can't hear you.
Oh, when the engineer was here, I asked him what happens when you burn methane and you release CO2 gas, which is a climate, anti-climate gas, which he admitted to, not voluntarily, but that's the byproduct of burning the methane.
So,
Well,
Laura
supposedly,
Ray,
they're
how
not
would we
burning the
go,
methane.
Laura Ray, how would we
Supposedly,
go about
they're
having them
diverting it
come?
into the pipeline.
Right, but something's flammable.
Well, whatever they're burning, yeah. I don't know if they're gonna tell you.
No, he didn't.
Even if, the only people that they're gonna listen to is council.
Right.
If council demands it and council asks some specific questions, they have to
Have to
answer.
answer, right.
So Laura Ray, back to my
We all wanna
question.
get together and write down a list of specific questions for council to ask. We can do that as a
So,
group.
Alan, if I could, Laura Ray, would it be feasible to see if they would come and have a discussion here with the EAC to discuss that, even though they did it at the town council some time ago?
We could, I don't know that we can make them.
No,
Yeah.
not make, but ask.
them.
I'll take that
They haven't come
responsibility.
back.
I'll ask
They
Kathy.
haven't come back to council
Okay.
ever again with probably.
I will take that responsibility. I will ask Kathy Gorman, or I'll look back.
Like, who would be the liaison? Council liaison?
I'll ask.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, I'll
Yeah.
ask.
She asked me who it was.
Yeah.
She
You
asked
meant
me
on
who
the
it was.
EAC, okay. All right, so
Okay, thank you.
then Laura, you'll take that task? Okay.
Okay, great. Good discussion. Any other discussions and,
Since we're cleaning this up, are we gonna put the recycling event, electronic recycling event down in 2025 again?
Yeah.
oh, I don't know, that's a discussion. That's on our agenda, if we're doing
Oh.
the recycling.
I'm sorry, did I
Yeah.
skip ahead?
Yeah.
Just a little, just a little. Any other items, discussions? I mean, we'll continue.
No, but I really hope we can do,
Yeah,
a handful of these things, at least in the community events this year.
yeah. And I'll get it categorized. We'll put it in, we'll break down and then some kind of calendar. So, great point there. Any other discussion on that? The next one is we have the EAC Network Conference. It is virtual on Saturday, February 29th from 9 to 3:30. Are there any interested parties?
I am interested, if I recall, we can pay and register. I think we actually already have a membership, right? So we just need to register, but then it's available to you, like you don't have to be there at that time, like you can go back and look. Because I remember last year going back and looking at the different topics.
As far as the EAC membership for We Can Serve, that has not been done. I needed to wait to see who was the president. I need that contact information to put in there. So I'll be doing that tomorrow. But as far as the network conference, I don't have enough information yet, because I was on their site today as far as cost and what the breakouts are and everything. So if that's something that you want to do, and you know, it has to be presented before council to be approved to pay for those that are interested. And I think last year what I did was I got all the information as far as who was interested,
Right,
got your information and plugged in your emails, and they sent you information.
correct. And then we had access for a year.
Yeah.
You have access for a
Right.
year to those different topics.
Okay.
So if you can't attend, you
Right.
can watch it on demand.
Well, I am interested in attending.
Same.
I don't know if you need a motion to request funding to purchase this registration.
Well, my question would be, we're signing up for membership.
Membership
Does that give us so many
I would hope so.
individuals?
It's a discount.
discount.
Okay, because I think last year it was what, $45 if we did it early or something, maybe
There
more.
there was an early entry fee.
Yeah,
Know ahead of time who's interested, that helps too. So.
I'm interested.
okay, Kathy, Russ, I'm interested. Chad, are you on their site too?
I looked this morning and I didn't
Thought it was in
see.
person, though, in State College.
No, that's a different one.
No, that's the, yeah, that's,
There was an online one, it was on a Saturday last year. I
Mhm.
think
Yeah,
around
and this is the
time.
same
It was maybe 4 sessions that were about an hour and a half each,
Yeah,
something
9
like
to
that.
3:30.
But they actually had 8 sessions, so you couldn't attend all of them, which is why it was nice to be able to go back.
go back and look, yep.
Well, we went to an in-person one in the fall.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good.
Yeah, the in-persons are good.
I know I got an email that had the information, their website, I will tell you, I know one of the key individuals took another job and left, so I think they're, yeah, unfortunately. So, it looks a little bit like it's not on their website, but I did get an email. So, at this point, it looks like, Alan, are you interested?
What?
Doing, the EAC from We Conserve?
Conserve.
It's an online series of webinars or web meetings.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so it looks at this point,
Who else, does anybody else wanna do it? I mean, are we
Yeah,
having
we're
a
gonna
vote
do
or
it.
what?
no, we're trying to figure out funding, so Carol, tomorrow,
Oh, no, I don't wanna go.
make it the 5.
So
Like,
what do you think
who's
the date
five?
is?
It's the
Me.
25th.
You're 5.
Well, that's a Tuesday.
Is it?
Saturday, February
February.
25th?
Oh, maybe it's,
Saturday,
yeah, February.
February
Yeah,
25th.
no, it's a Tuesday on here. Is it the 22nd?
That's
maybe?
why I'm wondering, it said it was held virtually on Saturday, like this is the 2023
I
date.
know, but I thought, okay, we're gonna have to confirm that.
Yeah, it would probably be on a Saturday.
It is gonna be on a Saturday, I don't know.
I still
That's why I
remember,
see
the
available
Christmas tree lights, which was fascinating to me. Remember the Christmas tree lights, or did you not see that one? How much she got and how much money they got back and all the broken lights and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, you talked about that.
The batteries
Yeah,
and, the light noise
the light noise, I
was
remember that.
fascinating.
That one, for
Yep,
sure.
yep, but all of them, they were so, it was unbelievable with the numbers that they got.
I've always thought doing a national lights out
Jennifer, you'll get back to me with the date, the correct date, and that. Okay.
very
And then it's
rewarding
you, Chad, Kathy,
to go
and
outside
Russ
and
and
see
Laura.
the stars
Yeah.
Right?
without light pollution.
Right.
Can't
Have
you
more
get-
information, I can
just-
send it
I
out
think
to the
that's a part
group.
of, like some mental health,
Find the
Yes.
email.
right? You know,
Sorry about that.
Okay.
so
I checked this morning, I
And then
couldn't
now
find
you're
anything
running
on the.
Starlink
Okay,
satellites going.
so we have
every
another
crisscross.
conversation going on, you wanna
Sorry.
update everybody? Sorry.
But no, just the light pollution topic from last year was of interest.
It was
Yeah.
fascinating.
And if there was any way for us to maybe move towards suggesting that the state, on a state level, or supporting that idea, or something like that, would be just, I would get behind that.
Well, I think the nice thing too is, we can grow our projects from attending some of those meetings, if so
Sure.
be it.
Yeah.
It was fascinating, it really was.
Okay.
Well, we could look at our own regulations. I know Janine was very interested in that, and I thought we had stronger regs on, or more about lighting, and I didn't find a whole lot when I was digging through our code.
The
So,
first thing I thought about for light noise was, Easton Road. And I know we don't it's Bethlehem Township on the left side, I know that, but those lights all night long in those warehouses and that UGI facility, it's daylight 24 hours a day through there.
I will follow up and get the correct information. Sorry about that.
The date and cost for how many? 5 attendees?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we have no developer items. Any
I do,
updates and reports? Yeah.
I do have a question under new business, if you don't mind. We're gonna do an open space subcommittee and a review of the open space plan and criteria. If you go on the EAC website and you go under open space, then you go under, there's an invasive species whole thing in there, and it's fascinating. And it's also old, I don't know that we need to update it, but I do think it's worth having the new members and the existing members review it. I didn't even know it was there. Now I know it inside out for other committees. But the point is it's there, and it's about endangered species here in Lower Saucon Township, and it's really well written. So I don't know if we bring it back to light, or bring it back to
Where do you find
to
that?
the new members. Lower Saucon Township, EAC, forms and documents, open space. I mean, it's really kind of hidden. And then endangered species.
Endangered or invasive?
Endangered. Sorry, not invasive. Endangered. It's in there. It was written in 2000, I think.
The natural resource inventory?
Natural resource inventory. It's so hidden in there, but it's really well written. There's a lot of information on there.
That's where you have the Jensen up by the.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a good point, Kathy, that any new member should be given that to read, to understand. That one was done quite some time ago. It was even before the open space. I think it was like 2004. So it was a third party. The gentleman spoke last month about it. He was the zoning manager at the time, so it does have really good history to it. And so I think that would be a great welcome package to new members, and we can work on that.
That and the open space, just so people know what it is.
No, totally.
Because it's,
Did you read it, Kathy?
I did.
Is it the whole township, or
It
is it
is.
just a particular part of it?
No, the whole township.
It was done in 2000, and it's natural resource inventory. And it basically, there was Ann Rhodes, was a PhD, and a Timothy Block that worked on it. But basically talks about how it breaks down the township into like Black River, Saucon Creek, Lehigh Valley. There's like 5 regions that they broke down the area, but it's worth the read. And it is on the website, but I mean, if you want, Carol, maybe can make a copy of this.
Send the links directly to them.
Yeah,
That'd be great.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, thank you.
Because it's hidden in there, but it's really,
Very interesting.
it is very interesting.
Well, I have something to just add real quick. Speaking of invasive species, they talked about this in the webinar for last week, Penn State, the Master Watershed program that they have. They are having an invasive species movie night at the Emmaus Theater.
Yes.
Thursday, January 23rd.
Yes.
It's Seeing the Unseen, the impacts of aquatic invasive species in Lake Erie.
It's a movie night?
Movie night.
Invasive species.
Thursday.
Emmaus Theater, go ahead.
Emmaus Theater, Thursday, January 23rd at 6:30. So if you have nothing else to do, go get some free popcorn.
That's a great idea, though.
It is.
Okay. That is great. And then any other updates or reports to report on? Okay. And then under old miscellaneous business, we have our electronic recycling event. In the past, have we done that annually?
times?
Do we wanna do
We've done a
it?
few in a row and then we've not done it, so, you know, there's not really a pattern.
Do you want me to be honest? I mean, it's a big cost on a line item for the budget.
We got
So-
about
so-
$2,000 back, I think, from.
We do get it, but it is also for the MS4, which is a requirement, and that meets some of the needs, so there's some additional information that's not always been apparent. Yes, it's expense, but we do get reimbursed by Northampton. So it's not as big as that line item was.
Okay, does that interfere if you toggle the years? Does it have to be done within a certain?
I don't know. I don't know
timeframe?
enough about MS4, which is a federally run program that all municipalities must meet.
Okay.
And I don't know, Carol, if you know.
I do not know.
I
I know
think,
that we
Engineer.
posted it for 3 years in a row.
Yeah.
I think MS4 applies to municipal storm sewer systems.
Yes, but this gets applied to it. I have been
And then
confirmed
they
by
mean,
Kathy
they
on that.
mean the type of a storm sewer system where you have tunnels under the ground, pipes, those drain things on the streets. And we have that on part of the township. But east of Hellertown, we don't have that. So I know that they tasked our engineering company to come up with some solutions to satisfy the federal government's requirements, which they did. And part of it was they were supposed to do some work. And I don't know if they ever did the work. They were gonna do some kind of work over there, east of the golf course, where the Silver Creek comes down, or I guess it's Silver Creek.
Yeah.
Whether or not they ever spent the money or did it, I don't know.
Okay, so
When you
back
did
to,
when you
if I
did the
may
tire-
interject, Chad,
Sorry.
can we stay focused? Do we want to do the recycling again this year? Or do we have concerns and we'll wait until next month after we can address, then if it
So, a
has
couple-
to be annual or biannual?
A couple
I
questions.
think we should do it. I support it completely. I think it's great. It's just the bottom line on the budget for me stands out as our largest expense, so I think we should just talk about it a little bit if there's alternating years so that we have better turnout or more bang for the buck on it, so to speak. And then I was just gonna ask, when you had your tire event, was there any way to put them on the same day, or do we need to keep them separate?
I was asked to keep those separate at the time
Yeah.
because of traffic and those kind
Too
of
much.
things.
Mm-hmm.
How much did the recycling event cost? How much did the township have to pay?
It was $5,000 some dollars, but we were reimbursed for $3,000 by Northampton County. I
So
put
you
in-
were a negative $2,000 at the
Correct.
end of the day, but that's not,
That's not,
and it was well
I
attended.
understand that. It's just it was the largest item off the budget.
Yeah, yeah.
but the point is, what do you do with that stuff?
There's always the possibility of sharing it with another municipality or borough too. I mean, and then you can
Right,
host
but
things
I
on the
mean-
same day
But
so that you have all the
prevents
same
people from
volunteers to
traveling
help
alongside the road.
and do other
Exactly.
things. You
Right.
can,
Benefits without a
there's
doubt.
always that
Right.
possibility
Yes.
too.
So Carol was talking and mentioning that we could always host with the borough or another township so that, we're splitting the cost and we can, make it a bigger event.
Right.
So we can definitely, speak to Hellertown, because I know they have MS4 requirements that they have to do as well. So,
The Adopt a Road also gets included with the MS4.
yes, that's correct.
All that information that I calculate from Adopt a Road, that all goes toward MS4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I need to learn more about that myself, but I totally support doing it. I think if we could expand it and get more bang for the buck, that's what I would rally behind.
Okay.
Just know the only downfall with sharing it is we would get less money
Right, you have to share it.
from the county.
You
If
have
it-
to keep track, right?
Yes, you absolutely have to keep track.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
We had to separate
Come on, Kathy, not
Butler
hard, not
Town
hard.
From Lower Saucon's tires.
Right, there
We
is
had
that
to-
complication.
We had to do that complication. That's why she's
I
crying.
understand. It would still be in the fall though, right?
That's
Yeah.
the discussion we can,
Yeah, fall's a good time.
yeah,
So
fall,
we have-
yes.
We have some time to
Work it out.
figure out
Absolutely,
a date.
absolutely.
Okay. Do you know who we could find out more information about how it pertains to the MS4? Is that Kathy, is
Maybe
it
it would separate, like Freeman's from us,
Roger
separate line.
Hanover Engineering.
Hanover Engineering?
Unless,
Yeah.
you know, then
Okay.
you only have to do the compass. Just write it down once, then have to
Well,
split
like we've
that.
had,
Mhm.
we've had topics for our own educational purposes here as a committee.
Yeah.
We've talked about having a lot of different speakers come in. Would it be something to talk about how all of our programs interrelate and benefit and the costs associated with them and everything? And like this MS4 to
Absolutely.
understand.
Okay.
The more
Why we're
educated
doing
you
them.
are, the more, yeah, I think that's a great idea. I second that idea. I like the fact that I said.
We didn't have a
Well, it
motion on
literally
the
says it
floor, I
right
hate to
here.
tell you.
It literally says it here on B, doesn't it?
Right.
Educational ideas for residents.
MS
I guess I'm.
Yeah.
MS4, right.
Yeah, you're,
Can I just back up just for a second? Excuse me. So it kind of popped in my head, although I don't know that you get reimbursement. But what about, I know, I felt like I sound like a dragon.
Feedback.
The electronics, right? And like simultaneously like a paint, people trying to get rid of their paints.
Okay, yeah.
But I don't know if you get reimbursed for that. I doubt
Leave
it.
them out and dry, they get taken, don't they?
yeah.
If you know that.
Yeah. It's considered hazardous waste.
If they're liquid, then you have to drop them off at the
Hazardous
facility where you
waste.
can appoint
It's
them.
a thought.
We don't
Because
even take paint, latex paint, because it's not hazardous.
Not hazardous, right.
Yeah,
But oil bases.
yeah, stuff like that's better to, like, for the county hazardous waste program, which is
Oh,
awesome and excellent, they'll take everything.
well then we need to promote that as well then.
Because like tar,
The
asphalt,
county,
all that.
Yeah,
yeah, okay. It was just a thought.
yeah, no, because when you start getting into chemicals and stuff, who knows what people are gonna bring, we wouldn't wanna be doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
They tarred down the whole area and that's very well-run program.
Okay, good.
So the electronics recycling, you wanna table that and bring that back next month?
Yeah.
Okay.
We need to pick a date. Yeah, eventually.
Provider,
And if we
seems
can,
available,
yeah.
all that fun stuff.
Okay.
They currently, I did talk to them this
Morning, and they currently have the fall open, wide open right now, so
Okay,
just know that.
great. Are the fees the same? Do you know, did they tell you?
Didn't give me a listing of the prices, so I don't have that information yet, but she did say that the fall they were wide open. And she'll
Okay.
get me the fees as soon as possible, so I should have them
Okay,
for next month.
that would be good. That would be helpful. Okay. And then, educational ideas. I mean, I think MS4 I think is a little bit much for residents, but for us,
Much needed for us, yeah.
yeah, so would we look at Hanover, Laura?
Yeah.
Okay. How do we contact them, or what's the procedure?
Can Brian do that?
You could ask Brian,
Yeah, would you? Okay.
I don't know who's the right person.
I'm sure he understands the MS4 thing.
Yeah. And then in the past, I mean, we've done rain barrels, we've done the composting. I mean, I think it's gonna be a matter of if that's what we wanna do. I mean, I think if we look at our list, we've got a lot of stuff going on, so.
The one thing I would like to caution, Chad and Russ, we tried rain barrels and we tried, composting. And, it just wasn't well attended.
The
Just
composting
FYI.
was.
They only had like 10 or 12, remember?
They were happy with it.
They were
had
happy with it,
pictures,
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
But
Yeah, we could wait on that one again,
Yeah.
I'd say.
it's just difficult, because you put all this stuff out and then sometimes you have a poor, poor response, so.
I mean,
You
we
gotta
could
kinda
switch
pick and
out, we had
choose.
these other things on our list anyway, the bat houses or
yeah.
even bird houses.
You know?
Things, something like that.
Something fun or more,
Maybe for like the little ones, did you see that the monarch is on the endangered species
Yes.
list? And that we need to plant more milkweed?
milkweed, yeah.
So, that might be, especially for like the little ones, something that's more interactive.
Butterfly plants,
Yeah,
because we have no butterflies.
That's something that we would.
correct.
well, and another thought with that is we could see if the library is interested, and that's a great open space. And
Yeah.
I was involved in a program in North Carolina, and they literally released the monarchs on the given day. And, it was huge. The kids loved it.
Yeah.
And they came and they were kind of packaged, and then they were alive and they released them.
Actually, my brother-in-law, Dennis Shaw, had a business, and that he released them for weddings. So he's quite an expert
Right.
monarch, so if we need someone who's an expert, I can ask him.
Oh, that would be great.
That would be awesome,
And then,
I
then
think.
we're like teaming up with another, like the library, very kid-oriented, and, that may be something to think about.
The other thing is,
Butterfly
just to,
release.
Yeah.
Yeah, butterfly
Monarch.
release, yeah.
That'd be nice.
just to segue, remember when, to you specifically, remember when Durham, EAC asked us to work together,
Yeah,
so that might be a nice bring something together kind of thing.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
I read an article about the monarch someplace, and there's only a specific type of what's the name of that plant?
Milkweed.
Milkweed.
That they like,
That they eat.
right.
I have a whole field full of milkweed, and I never see a monarch bunny. So,
If you
Now,
go,
is yours the big, thick stalk?
yeah.
Oh
no,
my
the
God,
big- The big thick pods, I don't,
Big fig,
the
No,
the
no, the
stalks aren't
stalk.
that big.
Oh, no, the big
pods
stalk,
and they have like silk coming out of them when they're.
Yeah, and they float around.
yeah,
We
no,
used to
the
blow on
big
those.
ones, I have them in my yard,
Yeah.
and I had a ton of monarchs because of that. So
Yeah.
I think it's just getting the right milkweed.
Yeah, it's a specific
One of
milkweed.
our experts is gonna have to find out which one it is.
Well, Russ's brother-in-law's gonna tell us.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can find that out,
That'd be great,
yeah.
that'd be
I'll find
great. And
But
you're
then,
right, that'd be like a
Russ.
March, April thing to get the presentation, so you're ready for May.
When
Right.
we do this,
And,
yeah.
and I know where they grow right along Freemansburg Road, where you go down to the Main Street, where the ball field, where they're putting an amphitheater in, they grow right in that embankment.
Oh,
There's a whole bunch of them right there.
okay, good. That's wonderful. Okay. And then, any other discussion on that?
You didn't mention rain gardens. Or is it just that topic didn't come up yet?
It's just, those were generative thought items, and we got on the monarchs.
reason I think that's a good idea to learn more about rain gardens is that I think rain gardens are going to be one of the main things that Lehigh Valley Planning Commission is going to recommend as part of their climate reduction program. And I read an article someplace on rain gardens. I think it might have been a Penn State thing, or maybe it was a Lehigh Valley Planning Commission thing. To make them right, it's very complicated. You almost need an engineer. Either an engineer who knows about rain gardens, or one of those landscaping firms
Right.
that knows about rain gardens. Because if you don't make it right, it doesn't work. So it's a pretty complicated thing. Like, I remember Saucon Creek Watershed Association was talking about doing a rain gardens with the Saucon Valley educational, whatever they,
Conservancy?
no, the high school.
Oh, they're ecology club.
The guys, they give us the $4,000 taxes every year. Saucon Valley, come on.
Over at the high school, yes, there is a rain garden there,
Yeah,
yes.
and it didn't go anywhere, I think because somebody read up on it and found out that it was too big of a project for them to handle.
Well, and that would be a good thing with the Northampton Extension, Penn State.
Penn State Extension.
Well, Northampton,
Yeah.
that person resides in that area, in that office. She could come and talk to us about rain gardens.
Right.
Yeah,
That
and she
would-
could probably
and
then
we could
refer
open
us
it
to a
up
whole
to the
bunch of
community.
stuff to read.
Yeah,
That would be a good idea.
okay. We can definitely, I can reach out, her name's Shannon, so I'll reach out to her. I can't remember her last name off the top of my head, but rain gardens. Okay, great.
Would it be beneficial to invite Saucon Valley Watershed to come to an EAC meeting and have the two groups talk about what they do, or you think they're just too separate?
Two groups, which, I'm sorry,
Saucon Valley Watershed,
and,
us, the EAC, have the two groups meet, or have the two groups, if the Saucon Valley Watershed is gonna host an event, have the EAC kind of be involved. Again, just a thought.
yeah, no, I mean, definitely
Different
can.
groups of people, but they have the common interest, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely, we can do that.
You're looking at me.
Well, you got two Saucon,
Yeah, we're
Oh, I
like about
see.
20% of the group already.
Okay.
no, it's a great idea, because, I mean, they are trying to expand membership, and that's when, we have the watershed, master watershed stewards, graduate and help grow the association, which in turn wants to work together with Lower Saucon.
Right, and you
the
have
municipalities.
Winfield Clark, Janine's not here, you have two new members coming, so
Yeah.
again, I don't think we can assume people know,
Oh, I agree. You're,
So-
you're absolutely right. That's a good point.
just a thought.
Yeah, absolutely. Good.
I agree.
All right. Anything else on this topic? And talking about,
Kathy, are you thinking that just to interact with Saucon Valley, Saucon Creek Watershed Association, or to learn more about because there's a larger overall group of the Watershed Association. What are they called, Janet? Jenny?
Lehigh Valley, the watershed.
The Cooks Creek.
Watershed Association of the
Association of
Lehigh
Lehigh
Valley or
Valley.
something like that?
Yeah, yes,
Yeah,
sorry.
the
And
Cooks
so if you're
Creek
interested in
Watershed
learning
Festival.
about the overall,
Cooks Creek is in Berks County, Bucks County, sorry. So it's,
you might wanna,
Because we had that Cooks Creek watershed thing too.
We
no,
did,
Saucon
but
Creek is in Lower Saucon.
Lower Saucon.
Yeah. Cooks is in
Bucks.
Bucks
Bucks.
County,
Bucks
Springtown.
County, that's right,
Yeah,
Springtown.
yeah.
And then you have the Little Lehigh, and you got the Bushkill,
Bushkill,
and
yeah.
so every one of these creeks have like a group that's
Watershed, yeah.
Yeah.
somewhat
think
interested
both.
in them,
I
and
think-
they're all together in this big, association, they all went together in a big thing.
Yeah, but I think
Just like all
both. I think to educate the EAC of what a watershed,
Does.
what a watershed steward is, and what do you do, and what's the purpose? Yes, and yes, to to have the two groups meet, so you're both in Lower Saucon Township. So I understand, maybe you do a little bit of both. Maybe you bring the Watershed Association Lehigh Valley to come speak to us about what's the goal, what is the purpose? And then if there's an event for the Saucon Valley Watershed, you get the two groups together so they can, meet each other.
Well, you could talk to Rebecca about that if you
Yeah,
want to.
it's the Watershed Coalition of the Lehigh Valley.
Yeah,
It's
it's a
Yeah, that's right.
coalition,
Coalition.
a whole bunch of
sorry.
people.
Coalition. All right,
Consortium, not
No.
association.
yeah, so,
Coalition.
okay. And then, any other discussion? Otherwise, we'll move on to, the township correspondence, which is talking about Saucon Creek. This was in the last township meeting.
Nothing like
If you want to
overwhelming us with
read
information.
about it, it is the new, energy plan, and they want to have a water runoff, stormwater runoff into the Saucon Creek that Alan was talking about, and this is their findings. It initially came as a permit, or at least notification that their intent was to do this. So I don't know if you all were able to.
It was so complicated, you know, kind of like scrolling, trying to get like a synopsis, and I didn't see one.
Right. It's very difficult. I mean, I was telling somebody, I was doing just keyword searching because it was basically, I mean, it's talking about, you know, if they have a spill, they have a retention pond there, and, I had printed out some of the pictures, but they have a retention pond. And what would happen if they did a spill? I mean, it was a lot of discussion on, you
And
know,
they
how
do have
they would call
spillway.
911
They
and
have
how.
they have spillways.
Yes. So it was more an FYI. I was gonna see if I could get some help on that.
It's a national pollution, discharge, environmental system, something. It's a federal government requirement that they do this whenever they want to dump anything into a stream, into a regular stream. And that's their application to the federal government.
Right. But there's some studies that were done, and
I wanted to mention this. You see how at the end here it says Area Energy East? That's the name of the corporation that's putting that plume up in the air.
yes.
I'm thinking that maybe the landfill says, we don't have anything to do with that. That's a different company. They do it, you know.
Definitely.
So the guy that we pay to go to the landfill and do whatever he does up there, search around, make sure they're doing things right, and the meeting that they have quarterly, I don't think they're gonna say anything about that. They're gonna say, that's not our.
It's a different entity.
Yeah.
Agreed.
We don't have any control over that. Now,
Right.
the council might have some control over it, because it's happening in our township. But I think that the landfill people, the Bethlehem landfill people, are just gonna say, it's not part of our Bethlehem Landfill Corporation company.
It's not our problem.
It's somebody else.
I agree on that. It's a separate set of
Corporation.
people. I just wanted to have this sent over because we did have this in our council packet. When we got our council packet, we only had this cover letter saying enclosed is a copy of a notice of intent, and then we had nothing. We only had one piece of paper. And so all weekend I was bugging about, you know, like, well, what is this talking about? And then 2 hours before council meeting, we got the 216-page document, and or 206, whatever it is, a lot, 216 pages, and it's, you know, we obviously could not read it.
And it's complicated.
It
It's
is
not just
complicated,
like,
and I'm still not sure what to make of it either. It's like, this is our intent.
It's all.
Yeah.
Is it
We
an
were
actual?
told we didn't need to
It's
take
all
any
information.
I
action.
wasn't able to thoroughly review this in time for the meeting.
I don't think there's any action to be
Yeah,
taken. It's an
no.
FYI. We need to
Okay.
probably take
So
the
You
time
need the
and
township
make it
engineer
aware.
to go over that.
Okay.
is it an application? Is that?
We
Yeah.
were told that it's not a permit, but it sure seems like it is, to me.
Yeah. The letter came as a intent, but if you look at every of the supporting document, it's an application.
Right, so that's why it didn't make sense when we were told it's not a permit to discharge. It's just like an FYI notification to us.
Yeah.
So we're thinking we need to respond in some way. Didn't know if anybody here would have any thoughts of,
This would have,
Alan
on
is,
this.
if I could interrupt, Alan has stepped out for a brief moment, but he has something to say about that, so.
Okay. Although I have,
He read it.
I have to say, though, it does say, intends to submit a notice of intent to the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. So if this is going to them, then
They're doing something.
we would be following whatever the DEP, whatever recommendations that they have.
But there was a 30-day window, though, for some comment.
But
So the one thing while we wait for Ellen, if I could, which is additional to this, you know that they also activated their PFOB filter.
yes, they do.
Which, attending one of the meetings, I was unaware that that was gonna go live. It was said that they had no plans on having it go live, but I don't know if there's any concerns with that, but that is a live system now, how they're
Yeah,
filtering.
it is like,
Yeah.
for PFAS. But who gets the reports for that?
I don't know, and maybe that's something we could have.
Because I know
Or bring
Bethlehem
up-
would not expose their results
Yeah.
from the sewer plant. They would not expose.
And the PFAS, that is part of the landfill. I don't know if it's gonna be coming up on reports, because there's tons of reports that come out
Right,
from them, as I'm sure you know.
because the city of Bethlehem wouldn't share it,
Right.
because we went there and asked
Now
them,
that they have this new
they wouldn't do it.
filter,
Yeah, would that be something that we could ask, who is our representative? Is that Victoria for the landfill?
her and Priscilla are
Yeah.
the
Maybe,
reps.
maybe see if we could just get an update if that would be reported.
Yeah.
Because something like that, the township engineer would actually have to look at, because it's really technical.
Correct, but at least we know that we're gonna get a report and
Right.
then if we needed to. So Alan,
What I wanted to say was, it really irritates me, the tiny little stream that they want to dump this stormwater into. I'm hoping that they have, I think I got the idea, maybe I'm wrong, from reading through that application, that first of all, the stormwater is gonna go into a detention pond. And then they can control the release from the detention pond into the tiny little trickle of a stream, of a tributary to the east branch of the Lower Saucon. Now, all I say is the Lower Saucon Creek. How do you like that? Everybody thinks, well, what the hell, everything else goes into the Lower Saucon Creek. No big deal. And then that stream, that little tiny tributary flows through land owned by UGI. Now UGI, they own the land from Apple Butter Road all the way down to
Easton Road,
Easton Road.
over Ringhofer, yep.
Yeah. So they built that huge gas storage
Huge.
plant down there.
Yep,
I don't know if you followed it, but I did. Before they built that whole field there was filled with trees. I mean, it's not huge, not a forest, but trees,
Yeah.
shrubs,
yep.
all kinds of green stuff was growing there. You probably couldn't even fight your way through it. And then a little tiny trickle of a stream came through all that. I took pictures of the stream down where it enters East Branch into Saucon Creek. So what does UGI do? They stripped all that vegetation, and I guess they're gonna plant grass. And you can see, if you look on Google Earth, a little stream, little black line that comes down through the picture, which is the little stream. Now I'm wondering, maybe that'll cause an erosion problem for UGI.
There's nothing
And they'll
to
have to
stop.
do something about it.
There's nothing to stop it, there's no vegetation.
Not now. Well, the last
If
time
you
I
have a bad
looked,
storm
there was no grass,
growing.
I didn't stop and actually look at the land lately, but I looked at the latest,
I don't know how that was ever made
Yeah,
legal, because they knocked it all down, and the size of that thing, you can't get to it anyway. The way the road's made, way Ringhofer Road is made, you can't get to it.
You're not allowed to go there.
It's crazy how that got in
That's
there.
all, you know, secret's not secret, but proprietary or whatever. I don't know if they have a gate though.
I think they have a game.
Is there any concerns or action at this point? other
Whatever
than-
the Pennsylvania DEP recommends, we would,
I'm
So-
concerned about discharging industrial stormwater into Saucon Creek. That's my concern.
I agree, and I think, you know, what we could ask is that town council follow up with us and let us continue to be part of the information received on that.
The same token, when it rains more than 2 inches, the sewer plant opens the
Any
gates
other
and
thoughts?
goes right in.
I don't know.
All sewage goes
You
right
know,
in.
that tributary doesn't even have a name.
I would like to understand what the water
Yeah.
is gonna contain,
It's
Right.
in that report.
right? And
Yeah.
how long does it have
You're
to
a
be
chemist.
held or kept or filtered
Before it settles.
before it's allowed? Or if it just rains really hard one day and they're allowed to open the spigot up and
Everything comes out.
the flocculant just keeps pouring out and, right, so that's concerning.
That's a very big concern. I agree. So I think we need to keep it on our radar.
Yep.
And,
It's frustrating.
Then it all ends up in a Lehigh.
yeah. Okay.
We can't seem to get out of it.
Any other discussion? We have no one here for public comment. If not, any motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Great. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
So,
So are we off the air?
not yet.
Okay, hold on, I want to tell your friends about the monarch.
The flares down there are unbelievable.
Girl out there with her
Oh, you took pictures
Oh,
of it?
yeah,
the
I'll show you.
monarch massacre, because these little kids are being harmful.
And I can see the monarchs going on the little kids' baby.
They're higher than the trees.
They